What's up, my movie misfits, and welcome back to the Koffin Click podcast, your weekly horror review show that digs up the movies your sanity tried to bury. As always, I'm Jeff, and for this very special episode, I have...
Hi, I'm Juan.
Oh, God.
The Juan and only. Not Julio.
Tacos, you ring me bring. Lisa, get up.
You're going to have to do that again.
No, we're keeping it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we're keeping it. Lisa Jones, get up. That's me.
And we're here only to do one movie for a very important reason.
Mm-hmm.
That's The Crow.
It stands alone.
It really does, because Salvation and Wicked Prayer should not have been made, but whatever.
We don't talk about those.
I had City of Angels in that group, too.
But you know what, though? I will take the sequels to the original Crow versus the new one that came out. And that's not anything against Skarsgård.
I'll take the TV show over the new one that came out.
You know what, you're right.
Yeah, absolutely. Skarsgård is great. I think if you just left out Shelley and Eric and just, it's a Crow story.
Yeah.
I could have dealt with it.
Just like the comics.
Because Skarsgård is he's a very talented actor. So, it's not Shelley and Eric.
So, that being said, all the fans that we have, and he's the only one, so he knows what he does. Do you want to explain to everybody what you do, Lisa?
Well, I'm a community manager, engagement manager, but when I'm not doing that, I'm an artist. I'm a painter. I'm a muralist. Do digital work. It has been my honor and my privilege to get a chance to work with some publishers. Julio and I have also been able to collaborate on comics together as well, and oddly enough, which we'll talk about later, is that we got a chance to be in a book together and be published together for the first time, which outside of what we've self-published, so that's really exciting.
Yeah, no, Julio sent me the pictures of what you guys had done, and I felt so special.
Aww. And he told me this morning, he's like, hey, don't forget, you gotta send that to me. He's like, I want to make sure that, he gets to see them beforehand. I was like, okay.
Because when you sent it to me, because again, all I read was nobody else has seen these, and I was like, what are you sending me?
Oh, that's right. That's true. No one has seen them, because we're not allowed to share until the book is being released.
Yeah, like publicly.
Yeah, publicly, we're not allowed to share.
So speaking of the book, real quick, before we get into the movie, the Kickstarter is live. When does that end?
July 1st, I believe.
Oh, it's coming up soon.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I gotta spend $40. I want that plushie of Draven. Like, that is...
That plushie came out pretty cool. Yeah, I like that one. And then the pop figure, but that's a lot. He has the hole in the hand.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
So it's like an exclusive just for the Kickstarter.
Why are we giggling over he has a hole in the hand?
Because I remembered the joke about Jesus walked into a bar with 3 nails.
I know. Yeah.
See, okay, I saw this movie when I was in the 3rd grade. Like, my mom took me to go see it.
Great parents, by the way.
Hey,
That's great.
My mom.
Let's take our 3-year-old to see this movie.
I didn't 3-year-old in 3rd grade.
Oh, sorry,
I said 3rd grade.
See,
I wasn't 3 in 1993.
Don't judge me. It's late at night. This is when I turn into a pumpkin. I feel like there's a lot of judgment.
My mom was a big Brandon Lee fan.
Narcolepsy brain.
And so that's how I saw it.
Sure.
And so that joke, he said that joke. And at school, that was my joke.
Oh no, you didn't.
Yeah, I would say that joke to other kids.
Sure.
And not get in trouble. I don't know how. Yeah. And then I had a friend of mine. He was the oddball kid. He was like, again, 3rd grade, and here's this kid wearing Marilyn Manson t-shirts in like a public school. And he knew the lyrics to the Stone Temple Pilots song, the Big Empty song.
Yep.
So how we became friends is I heard him humming the chorus.
Oh.
Why we're when they used to make you stand in line for the bathroom and all that, and you had to wait, and he was humming it. And I looked down and was like, Jesus walks into a hotel.
Oh, of course.
And
here's my moment. Let me tell the joke.
He knew, and so he started singing the chorus, time to take her home or whatever. Yeah. So that's how we became friends. So like every other day, I was like, dude, sing the chorus. And he goes, only if you tell the joke to another kid.
Nice.
So that was the whole running gag for that for a
friends
while.
are you finding in the 3rd grade?
I mean, we were friends until I was a sophomore in college. That's how long we were friends.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, and it was because of the Crow.
Brandon Lee bringing people together.
Yeah.
I had seen this movie when I had to be about maybe 9 or 10 because I grew up a giant Bruce Lee fan.
Of course.
And watching, Jason do the autobiography for Enter the Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And watching everything with Bruce and then, seeing The Crow and being like, oh, I can't wait to see what else he's been in. And then somebody had told me what had happened to Brandon and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to make this movie my personality for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
And the only other, I've seen Brandon's other stuff, like Showdown. I think it's Showdown in Little Tokyo.
Yeah, it's him and Duff Lundgren.
Yeah, it is such a weird, I can only picture you in, makeup. I can't, can you just be dirty for, a little bit? Can you just, it's weird.
Yeah, because he's, super clean cut in there, nice, haircut.
Yeah, it's nice.
Who's this Clark Kent version?
Yeah.
Yeah. It is strange.
But aside from the Jesus joke, the line that has gotten me through a lot is "It can't rain all the time," and it's watching this movie. If you're young and you've seen this before you're 10 years old, this is a pretty heavy movie to get through.
Yeah,
yeah, it is.
Especially if you don't understand what's going on in the beginning.
Yeah,
and it's just oh, he's a zombie. Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not the fun kind.
No, not the. It's some heavy themes.
But this has got to be one of the greatest movies ever made, just in the vicinity of anything. I was reading up facts about it, and apparently, cocaine was a rampant thing on set, and people were running between shots to go to the bathroom to snort or whatever, and just the crew, and somebody sneezed.
Oh.
And Brandon Lee said, somebody just wasted $50.
Oh.
And it's things like that make me think that me and Brandon Lee would have been friends. Age may have been a problem, but we would have been friends eventually.
Yeah, sure.
But with what had happened, him dying, that's why Jason didn't really do a whole lot of movies.
Yeah.
I mean, he shows up in that movie about ping pong, Balls of Fury.
Mm-hmm.
To call not Josh Gad, but I can't think of the guy's name, Guilo, and then walk away. And I'm I called him white boy.
To your point, you were talking about finding out, oh, this is great. Oh, he's not, he's unalive. Oh, okay. And so, just kind of shattering. I remember, of course, growing up and watching it so many times. Every time I would see it pop on, I would watch it. And just couldn't even fully understand as a kid why I was so entranced by the story. I just knew that every time it came on, I was oh, I'm watching it.
I don't care what else I'm doing.
No, not at all. I was ooh, okay, I don't care how many times I've seen this. I'm watching it again. And fast forward into my adult years, and Julio and I are dating, and we end up watching it together. I was oh, I love this movie. He's yeah, he's passed away, right? I was wait, what? And I didn't know this whole time.
Oh, okay.
So, after that, it just, I couldn't see it the same. Some part of me was, mourning a little bit that this bright light would be snuffed out so early in such a tragic way. So, as much as I love the movie, sometimes I have to, brace myself a little bit, and I don't really get caught up in, celebrities and private lives and all that kind of thing. But just for some reason, something about him and how it all happened and everything that surrounded that just hurt my feelings. It still hurts my feelings.
And plus the way that the movie just gut punches you in the beginning.
Oh, it does.
It's an immediate yep, this is what happens on Devil's Night, yada yada yada, and
and to think that actually happened in real life.
Right, yeah. And just the revenge story, so the scene where he falls in the grave breaks me every time. Yeah. And and that scene he had filmed before he got shot. Or before the incident happened on set. And it just, but when he gets in that grave, I'm just I can't do this. I've seen this movie 800 times, and I can't.
Yeah.
Okay, he's at peace. Got it.
Yeah. And for anybody who's worked with him, that still seems to be. It still hurts like it happened yesterday.
Yeah.
I met the first time I met Tony Todd. I think I took Candyman or something else. And then I asked him, I was like, how was it working on The Crow? And this is big burly, you know, at the time before he got sick and everything, deep voice and everything, and he just put his head down and just goes, there isn't a day where I don't miss Brandon. And I was just like, it's fucking Candyman.
Yeah.
You know, like
yeah.
this dude who's very like probably a dude you don't want to meet in an alley type guy, and just puts his head down. It's like,
well, if he's got that outfit on, then yeah.
But like seeing him like break down on that, not like officially break down, but like, you know, get very somber and quiet, and just like, I miss Brandon and loved working on the movie. He was such a bright light and such a great guy. It was an honor and stuff like that. And then, you know, when the how we were talking about the Skarsgård version and Ernie Hudson's coming out, I was like, nope. He was like, you know, I don't care. There's only one, and it's Brandon. And just seeing like how much like that film means to the actors who were actually in it.
Yeah.
Not because of like what happened, but because there was like a legit camaraderie, especially like given like James O'Barr's background and why the comic was made, and that, you know, it's probably one of the first indie comics that was a movie. You know, so to see that happening right in like the height of it, 'cause that's how I knew The Crow wasn't because of Brandon Lee. Like in 10th grade, like I was going to the comic book store frequently with my uncle, and I knew that was a comic book. Like I seen it, so I knew already that, you know, whatever's on the screen is fake because of the comic. I didn't get to read the comic because it's age appropriate and stuff like that.
Right.
But I already knew what it was. And then like when you grow up and you know more of the story and everything, you're like, oh, like that's a huge accomplishment. Like, you know, Brandon Lee's just coming up. Like you said, he's doing these kind of major films, but they're not major. They weren't like hitting. And then he does The Crow because someone believed in him. Someone believed in James O'Barr and his story. And then they get Tony Todd and, you know, Luther from the Warriors, and like,
which Brandon was super stoked about because he had loved the Warriors. So being able to work with him, he was like, "Oh shit, I get to kill you."
But yeah, it was like, it's a huge thing, and to see like they're still very much proud of that fact. Like, we made this thing together, and it's a shame what happened to Brandon. But you know, it's such an iconic movie and such an underrated. You know, when everyone talks about, like, oh, the perfect comic book movie right away, like, oh, Dark Knight, you know, this and this and that, and like, you know, I think
I would have to go with The Watchmen because it was a 1-to-1 panel. I was like, did Scott Snyder just?
Yeah, he just took it from there.
Copy and paste this thing, like,
except for the end.
True.
Yeah. That was the only thing. Everything was pretty much the same except.
And that's how I feel about Sin City. Like, Sin City is like one of the perfect comic book movies because of the same reason. It's basically panel the whatchamacallit.
I mean, if you got good material, why try to recreate it?
Yeah.
So I feel like The Crow needs to be in that conversation too, because I don't remember the comic as well as I do the other ones. Like, I read it younger, like late teens, when I was able to read it, and I haven't read it since. But I was like, it's still like the movie holds up, and so like we're talking about it after we rewatched it. It was like you can see like things that other comic book movies stole from The Crow, you know, like Daredevil and Dark Knight, and just like mannerisms and like shots and like Sin City, and like, oh, we think of these movies that, well, not so much Daredevil, the Ben Affleck one, but like these other movies, we think of them as high regarded. And I was like, oh, well, they basically took from The Crow, you know.
I think one of the things The Crow does the best is the scene where it's all the mob leaders and he sits down and just plops on the table. Like, I see so much of Heath Ledger's Joker in Brandon in that aspect.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's like the and with this pencil disappear, like, I honestly believe that if Brandon wouldn't have died, I think Brandon Lee would have made a really good Joker.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely Joker-esque. We were thinking about that too, especially when he laughs and he flips over and he falls from the building.
Yeah, into the garbage pile.
Yeah,
and
it's just like very Joker-esque.
Like that laugh and the smile and everything. I was like, like my mom watched it with us, and I was just like, it's only like 5 or 10 minutes into the movie when he does that, and I was just like, at that moment, when he does that, and it's just like the methodical like Joker laugh. I was like, that's when you know shit's about to go down. Like the rest of this movie is like,
oh, I can't die. Okay.
Yeah.
I got nothing to lose.
Right, and him taking everybody down in such a... And I'm so happy that it was almost staged like a video game. It's all these different boss fights, but they're doable, and you don't have to press the square button 800 times.
Sure.
In Dark Souls. Anyway, but just the methodic way of how they made him feel that night, he did it to them.
Yeah.
And it's such a cathartic release if you've been through anything like that. Because, like, you just can't... I mean, you can. It's jail time and other things like that, real world involved. But just to watch somebody else do the thing that you wanted to do. And it's fucking Brandon Lee. It's Bruce Lee's kid. Like, come on now. Like, it's... Yay!
Yeah. And, you know, and with the exception of T-Bird, because you're talking about, like, how he went through and he was like, I want you to understand the suffering. You ever notice... I'm like, it's like you broke my heart, so I use you as a pincushion right in the heart with all of your needles, and I use you as a pincushion in with your heart and your organs with the knives. The only one who did not get that treatment is T-Bird, who he was like, I used your explosives against you.
Yeah.
And right before he dies, he's quoting Paradise Lost. And initially he quotes it in the beginning, mocking innocence. Mocking, like, basically the devil wins kind of situation. It's Devil's Night, devil winning. And then right before he dies, he quotes it again, realizing this time instead of mocking, he was like, crap. Now I'm standing in judgment of justice prevailing for what I did and answering to that. Yeah, as he's duct taping him together.
And like, hands down, that scene, like Luther, I'm just going to call him Luther because that's who he is to me.
Yeah.
His performance in that was like rewatching it now and fully like understanding it. Like he didn't see the Crow or Eric Draven. That dude saw the Angel of Death.
Yes.
And then you can see like the transition when he's like joking. He's like, yeah, I remember. And then like kind of laughing and mocking him. And then slowly like, and they don't paint like the cinematography for this was awesome because like they don't show Brandon Lee at all. You just see his hands or like an over-the-shoulder shot. And then you just slowly see this dude go from joking to penance, like how you were saying.
Yeah.
Because you just see him, like, you see him looking at Eric in a different light in so many seconds. It's like,
that's true.
You're just another dude that was on our list. Oh, you're back. Like, there's no coming back, like how he was saying.
Yeah, that immediate realization of,
and then,
oh crap.
Yeah, and then when he starts going into the spiel, that's you're the Grim Reaper. I see you for who you are. You know, you're the angel of vengeance and so on and so forth. And that's when I wouldn't say he accepted it, but that's, you see like the stages of grief or like, you know, unfortunately when someone's about to die, you see all those things like
the wide range of emotion that happens.
And you have so much to get out of you at one point and it's like,
it's like, oh my God, this is my last moment. Oh my God. It goes from panic to just, like you said, that grief, like, oh God,
and
this is it.
He did that, like, so going back to seeing it again, I was like, wow, that dude put on like a master class. I was like, okay, man, like fired up, bro, fired up.
Oh God, can we just like put that quote because it sticks with me. Abashed the devil stood and felt how awful goodness is, or awful is like a weird old timey way of saying like awe.
Yeah.
So he was in awe in that moment. Like before, it's like, and then in this moment, it's like you stood in awe, trembling this before, like you said, it was like an angel of death.
Karma caught up to you. Like, it comes for us all. And I agree that it's a masterclass.
It does.
Because like when people die in movies, they don't really like monologue like that.
No.
Like, it's just, they don't have time to. But I kind of miss that way, and it's just the way that movies were made in the 90s. They were so much more expansive with their villains. You look at Face Off, Nicolas Cage and John Travolta. I'm a firm believer Nick Cage just plays himself in every movie, but but even in that, the way that he talks, him and Travolta talk. Look at Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
I quote Samuel L. Jackson weekly from that movie.
Of course,
Like,
of course.
I'm just like, I don't.
Because why wouldn't you?
Right, but I just think that movies nowadays don't have that same gravitas.
They don't let things breathe.
They really don't.
Yeah.
And as much of a Marvel fan as I am, like, I'm kind of glad we got like the 4-year break almost. It feels like before we're getting these re-releases of Endgame and the Doomsday.
It was changing the way people saw film. Like I know there were some complaints from very legendary directors who were just like, it's changed how people watch film because everything has to be exciting and big and an explosion. It has to be this, but nobody wants to hear a dialogue. Nobody wants to hear story because everything was high octane all of the time, and that's what people got used to. As opposed to letting things breathe, letting there be tension, letting moments be uncomfortable, and letting them build a story. And it's strange to have to keep explaining people's like, not all movies have to be big and explosive and high octane. There is such thing as telling a story.
There's other directors than Michael Bay.
Yeah, it's like, dude, let it breathe a little. It's got to breathe. There's got to be rises and falls and tension and moments that seem like mundane, but they're not if you pay attention, so that you can appreciate the larger moments, because it should take you up and down.
And I think that's why I like horror so much, because I feel like I get all of those emotions in one fell swoop.
Oh, they allow for all kinds of room for tension. What were you about to say? Something?
No, because I completely just
suddenly went blank. You said something about... So I just... There's so many thoughts. Watching this movie, Julio was like, what did you think? How did it feel watching the movie again? I was like, well, I said it was different. It's a different kind of experience. It kind of makes me want to rewatch it again just to rewatch it. I'm like, because, we do periodically watch the movie because we enjoy the movie. But watching it this time, almost like you're studying it. So it's a different lens watching it this time around, and all the things that it's like you noticed, but it didn't, for some reason, how you noticed it this time struck you a little bit different. And it made me go, huh, and write things down. I was like, I'm curious. And then you're like looking up things because you notice certain things and wonder what the significance. The little girl, when she starts in the beginning, she's like, I used to think that everything was like the burning buildings. Everything turns to ash. And she's going through all the examples of things. She's like, like everything in life. But love rises, which is very Phoenix-like metaphor. Just how grown up that she had to become in that setting. Not really just, what burned up and went to ash in that city was also her innocence, which obviously is being celebrated, right? Somebody trying to keep that and it being mocked in one of those opening scenes. So she talks about at such a young age. I was like, oh, your innocence is already, like, you're already jaded.
Right,
at such a young age.
You're 12 years old and life is just
a
prickled ball to you, and you wish you had it longer. And you feel for her so much in the beginning of that movie, too. Actually, throughout the movie. Especially when Brandon does the whole, like, pulls the heroin out and just be able to save, like...
Yes.
That scene just floors me every time as well. Like, to also have that ability, like, you have one night to fix your life and you chose to help somebody else.
Yeah.
Like...
It wasn't just about revenge, it was also about making things right. And making someone's, obviously in this case, Shelley, making their love means something, their death means something. Like, setting balance and setting things right. And it wasn't just about setting balance for him correctly, but also setting balance for the little girl as well, and restoring balance. And justice isn't always just about, all right, everybody's getting their comeuppance, but also some of that balance or setting justice right is about creating an opportunity for healing and, coming back and that kind of thing. The little girl, as she's talking, she was talking about the crow. I thought it was interesting that it references the crow as a watchman.
Yeah. Now knowing what I know about birds.
How do you still feel about it? It's like, still feeling some kind of way about the birds. But this watchman is meant to if you know anything about Watchmen and how they've been referenced in certain texts, that they stand waiting for something, right? And then
they're not going to go look for it.
Yeah, they stand waiting. They're at the wall. They usually call it like the Watchman on the wall, and then they're waiting. And then when they see something, they're like a herald, so to speak. And essentially, that bird ends up heralding in, so to speak, an opportunity. Is like, okay, we're gonna allow him to cross back over, and he wakes up Draven, which starts this whole thing where he ends up walking this road. Now, coming to this road when he walks up, did anybody else cringe? I'm like, you were walking barefoot through the nastiest alley possible. There's like everything in me, just my skin was crawling. I was like, ew, that is commitment. Please tell me, like, that's staged. Like, how did you do it? Is it real dirt and grime?
Brandon
and I'm
I'll do it.
Right? I'm like, that is some serious commitment. As he's walking through this really murky, gross, barefooted, as he's pulling off all his clothes. I also not sure what's happening there, but he's like, I think maybe he's shedding the grave.
I was gonna say, yeah, like stripping, like he's up, from that night, everything just.
It's a very Lazarus moment.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, like, that text is all loose him and let him go, as he comes out in grave clothes. So I guess for me, it just seemed like there were so many biblical parallels all throughout this.
It's hard to not look at the biblical sense of it because of what this movie has to deal with. It's like,
there's so many hidden things.
Okay. He came back.
Yes.
But yeah, that I have to agree. Like when he starts taking off his clothes, like I like you, I've always seen that as like this isn't me anymore.
That's true too. Not just shedding the grave, but shedding who he was. He's like, that guy died a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fair point too.
Because even in the flashbacks, you see like a different smile
of course.
like different laughter, and then when you do see him smile as zombie Eric Draven, there's a different smile, and there's a different look behind the eyes, and like
it is.
This is I'm getting a second chance,
and even when I was telling her, it was like I love that you see him when. Like, you see his face as himself when he comes out, and it's sad, and he seems afraid.
Yeah.
And then you don't see that after he leaves the cemetery. It's all shadow. Everything's in shadow. And, I know part of that's because he wasn't doing it. It was his stunt double and everything. But you don't see his face again until he's fully transformed after he sees Gabriel and everything, and it's all lower, feet, hands, everything's in shadow, and then he walks up, the bird gets on his shoulder, and he slowly just walks to the window, and then the lightning hits, and then you just see this is me now, the reveal, and it was that was super cool, the timing and all that, just they gave you the glimpses of the gesture mask that was hanging on the mirror. And you're like, oh, how's that going to transform? And you don't really see anything even when he shattered the mirror.
I was just about to bring that up. When he shatters the mirror and he starts putting all the makeup on and he's going through the whole room like Batman in an Arkham game. Yeah. And that is probably the best scene out of this movie to me. Just that whole transformation.
Oh, yeah. And just seeing that and just how dead he looked. There was nothing behind the eyes, no nothing. It was just...
That's true.
He was just... focused. That was that's a man not to be tampered with.
But with that trench coat, yes.
Yeah. There was this ascension, if you will, to that. To your point, piggybacking off of what you said, him shedding the grave clothes, shedding the Eric Draven that died the year prior, and he we were talking about this earlier as we were making our way to grab snacks. That he was he goes to this building and he's climbing up the ladder on the side of the building. He looks up, and I'm going to botch this word because I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but it's spelled Tamisra. And apparently I was like, I wonder why they would show us that. I wonder why there's an eyeball on the wall. I wonder. So I'm tappy, 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 and start looking it up. But apparently that mural, if you will, was actually a Sanskrit word. and it's meaning dark night or mental darkness. And apparently there is a book that it refers to a place that is a realm reserved for punishment, specifically for those of deceit, theft, kidnapping, and it names a couple other things. So it's interesting that there's a few things I feel like you get out of that, is that as he's climbing up there, it's like he's rising out of darkness, out of his mental darkness, and ascending into what we would know to be the crow. And
the guardian, yeah.
And you know, this guardian, if you will, that is gonna wreak havoc and make things right.
Just the best way possible.
And just the freaking best way possible. But also the fact that he's about to execute judgment for those who executed those very things. So it was just so multi-layered.
Out of all the times that I've watched this movie, I have never stopped to think about that. I thank you so much.
Yeah. I thought, I was like, ooh, I remember seeing that before, and I told myself, I gotta look that up later. Every time I would see the movie, and so when we saw this, I'm like, I'm looking it up this time. Because I always want to know, I'm like, you're showing us this. You had a very specific shot, because you could have focused in so many different ways as he's climbing up the ladder. He's going up the ladder, but you specifically show us that wall for a reason. And so I'm like, I had to know. And of course you would show it to us as he's going up a ladder. You could have chosen all kinds of ways to show us that wall. But that's how you chose to show it, which means there's some layering in there that we're supposed to get from it.
And you know, somebody in the theater, when they saw it, said, I know what that is.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. And then the first thing he sees is his cat. And his cat is this white cat, Gabriel, which is a herald, is a messenger. And so he goes to touch the cat, and he's just like, what happened? And then all the flashes come back. So it was like his messenger, like Gabriel is supposed to be, you know, the archangel is like his messenger to tell him like what happened, to remind him what happened that night. I thought that was interesting.
You went to the store for cat food, didn't come back. What the fuck were you?
Yeah, right. You never came back. What the
It's
hell?
a year later. I'm still here.
Yeah.
I'm just as surprised as you were.
So, you know, and so there's all these things that end up happening in that moment. So he gets his message from Gabriel to remind him of what happened and why. So essentially revealing for him why he's back.
This is why you're awake.
This is some things while you were out, and then as he's having all of these flashbacks, I thought it was interesting that he stretches his arms out like this. What an interesting! I always thought that was a strange response.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, you think you have wings, but you don't. Like,
so he stretches his arms out as he's having these flashbacks, which to me I was like, oh, it's kind of reminiscent of a crucifix. And then when he gets to the window, he cuts his hands.
Stigmata.
Like so it was like pierced hands, and as he's going to his transformation. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. I'm like, am I reading too into this? So as he's like reborn and all these kind of things happening, he realizes he can't die, you know. He ends up making that joke later on about, so tell me if you've heard this one before. And I only end up getting shot through the hand. I was just like, so I'm not reading into it too much. Y'all did it on purpose.
that scene too, when he gets, and he keeps talking and keeps pushing forward.
Oh, yeah.
And just,
Oh,
dude on the
gosh.
bed is wigging out. Like,
You're crazy, man. You know? Just like, yeah.
When you out-drug the druggie and you're not on drugs.
yeah.
It's like, wait, you're sober?
Just like Brandon's movements in a lot of the stuff, like when he goes in there and he's mimicking Fun Boy, like when he goes in and he does that thing with the light bulb. And I'm like,
I always wondered why he does that.
Well, if you notice, like he like does certain things with people. So like with Ernie Hudson, when they first meet, he's very like slow and very like, how can I say it, respectful to Ernie Hudson.
He's kind of
like
human in that moment.
Yeah. Well, not doesn't curtsy, but he bows to him and like,
because he's the cop, so
Yeah.
like, he would have like I always assumed he would have paid that respect. And then Ernie said, "Fuck this, I'm gonna go fight ghosts."
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
And then like when the scene where like how we're talking when he's in there with the mob and everything, and then he dances like goofily dances away.
I always
and
love when he
I'm just
dances.
like,
As he walks out
certain
of the
things
room.
like play to certain people.
Yeah.
You know, like how he was with Tintin, like with the knives, and very like fluid, and showed off like the martial arts and whatnot. And then, you know, with T-Bird, how he was with that, and just like, it's been interesting to see like him mimicking those guys, like he
making them atone for what they did in their own way.
Yeah,
essentially giving them their own medicine.
Yeah, it is very poetic how each one dies. They die by the very thing that they were using.
And then whoever created Saw this movie and said, "I'm going to make a movie based on this."
You were talking about Tintin is the
knives.
Right. So when he was like, "Victims aren't we all?" It always gives me goosebumps every time he says that. Right before he's like. And you don't see him stab him.
Nope.
But it is so effective anyway. You're
that's
like, that guy did
that's
not
that kind
make
of jump scare line too, because
It is.
he's already up against the wall, and that's when he pops up. Stop brain.
Yeah. And you know it's coming every time. It doesn't matter. You still jump anyways. Like, victims aren't we all? And I kept thinking about that line. Besides it just being freaking dope, he's like, victims aren't we all? And he's mocking him, obviously, and he kills him. But it also kind of made me think. It's like, you know, everybody there was experiencing the same city. But yet, you made your choice, and we were making ours. We made very different choices. Being in like, you didn't have to choose. For me, it almost seems like why would you tell him that? He was like, yeah, I did this, and he's trying to mock him, and you can tell he's just gonna take that bravado all the way to the very end because he's got nothing else, right?
Right.
And he's like, victims aren't we all? And it's just like, yeah, but we all have choice though. You could say it's the city, you could say, yeah, there's nothing, you know, whatever your excuses are, but you had a choice. We made ours, you made yours, so here's the consequences of yours.
And to show how one environment can spiral out, and just all the factors of because everybody in this movie has a different background living in the same city.
Yeah.
And that lends itself to the comic too. And I had found out that apparently the director wanted the whole movie in black and white, except for the flashback scenes.
Oh, that would be cool.
For the comic, and the publisher was like, no. He was like, all right, never mind. But now, with what we have today, with people just editing movies for the fuck of it, I kind of want to see a black and white version of this movie. Like what they did with Spider-Man Noir, or what they did with Godzilla -1 or -0.
Yeah.
Just that black and whiteness of it. Like, I would kill for a black and white release of this movie.
Oh, that would be sick, yeah.
With the caveat of the red bits, I would assume, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the red was very poignant as to why they were doing it. It was always... And it's interesting because some places would choose red as a foreshadowing of, there was always a ghost in the room, or death, or something. But it seemed like it served multiple purposes in here. Like, every time he dealt with a villain or a bad guy, there was red. But also, every time he had a flashback, which of course was also something bad, was red. Or every time there was something alluding to corruption being present, red in the room.
Yeah.
Or the movie started off red.
Or rage. Yes.
Rage.
Or rage.
You know.
And again, like what you can attribute.
But it was a bad thing that ended up happening in that, right? Or
no, you're completely right. But that red can also, and you talked about it earlier, the loss of innocence.
yes.
What women go through at a certain point, you know what I mean? Like that happening. So like blood, and then just there's no way to get around it. Jesus, like just the whole that whole metaphor. So.
There were so many. I was like, even down to, come on. So he finds the woman who's essentially like the proverbial like woman at the well, woman caught in the act, right? She's in the middle of an act. And he essentially cleanses her blood from the morphine.
Yep.
And she's like clear for the first time ever.
I have a second chance. You have a second chance. You have a daughter. She may have a gun. Go home. Like,
yeah, right? And it's just such a beautiful line. You always seem to get it right.
Mother is the word on the lips of all children for God, or something like that.
Yeah. Mother is the name for God on the lips and the hearts of all children. Yeah.
So I remember that sticking with me too. Like that and the whole, how do you feel? I feel like a little worm on a big fucking hood.
Oh yeah.
Dude, third grade me went through a lot of shit for the Crow.
I'm saying like this movie made me feel so philosophical and edgy, and then I found but the thing that I love about The Crow so much is that I didn't know it was a comic when I saw the movie.
Yeah, I didn't either when I was younger.
This was one of the first instances I was like, wait, this isn't the original?
This is a book?
Right, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. And I would watch something and I'd be like, okay, there's a book to it, I'm just gonna gravitate to this.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, the biggest thing The Crow did for me was introduce me to Johnny the Homicidal Maniac.
Nice.
Which is a comic book written by Johann Vasquez, who did Invader Zim. And Johnny is very much Eric in this, except on a completely different level.
Oh, yeah.
His cookie jar is a pig talks to him. I fucking love that. But no, I've always had as Jim Ross from WWE once said looking at Edge, they live an alternative lifestyle. I've always been the emo goth kid.
Yeah.
And this movie was just kind of like, all right, got it. I know what.
Yeah.
I know what my aesthetic is going to be.
Did that justify it for you? It's
it did, yeah. This movie.
Yeah.
And then
he gets to paint his nails.
Oh. But the first three bands off of that movie, I think it was Stone Temple Pilots, The Cure, and Nine Inch Nails. Back to back to back. It opens with Big Empty, and then it goes into Burn, and then it goes into the Nine Inch Nails song. Just those were three of that time, the heavy hitters during that time, and then
that time capsule of music, you can't.
And then that's how I got into Rage Against the Machine and Pantera and My Life in the Thrill Kill Cult was all through that movie, because that was in where I grew up, they're not listening to that at that, but I'm like, oh, what is this sound? This sounds cool, And then I meet that kid with the Marilyn Manson shirt in third grade, and then he, explodes me. Yeah, and then, yeah. But it was cool, man, and also, this is, I only remember my first two movie experiences in theater. This was my second one, and the first one was 89 Batman. So seeing 89 Batman at the drive-in when it first came out, and then going to see 93 Crow, two really dark movies, comic book movies, and then, I'm a big Spawn guy, and then, rewatching this, I'm like, I wonder if Todd took a lot from The Crow, and, and then, even for the movie, a lot of the alley scenes and stuff. I was like, man, this. And I just watched Spawn probably a few months ago because they did the 4K remaster. I was like, I want to watch this. It still hold. I was like, I want to know if it still holds up. Because I Spawn. Todd McFarlane has a big place in my heart and stuff. And I was just like, man, watching The Crow again, I was like, man, there's a lot of parallels to Spawn and just the certain scenes and how they depict the Gothic churches and that artistry behind it, the cinematography, the shots they chose, how gritty it looked and dark. And I kept telling Lisa, I was like, I know they did a 4K remaster of The Crow. I don't want to see it because the graininess, and I want to see the grain. I want to see the burns and stuff. It just added more ambiance to that movie.
I don't want to see this movie smoothed out.
No.
It's not going to hit the same.
No.
But
it needs to stay raw.
I completely agree. But also, look at the time in the 90s where all these movies were being made. I feel like the last movie that was made like this was Constantine.
Yeah.
And that same grittiness and that same, and going back to Gabriel, when Tilda Swinton comes down or when dude gets up his Satan and starts walking and all the black, and just
that always made me cringe. Where he's walking and his feet are all black and tar-like. I was just like, la la. And the creatures, the aliens were always interesting, and the blood and the, going through the portal of the water and trying to, she's smoking as she comes out of there, or when he does, all of that was always very interesting and intriguing to me.
So, this probably has to be the most intellectual episode of the Koffin Click podcast. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, my bad.
No.
I was like, oh man, there's so much. I deep dive. I do. I'm a nerd. I really am. I was like, ooh, I like introspection and reflectiveness.
I am so happy you did that, because I am the same way. And then you've listened to us. You've heard nothing against Justin and Juan. I love those guys dearly. But like, I'll start ranting about a movie and I'll be like, I should just stop. So I'm gonna ask you first.
Sure.
What's your Koffin rating?
My Koffin rating? Oh my gosh, it's off the charts for me. It's all the coffins, all the
Fair
things.
enough. Okay.
Yeah, I have no complaints. I really don't. Like every time I watch it, I still feel the same way that I did all those years ago.
Julio?
Oh yeah, 5 coffins. To me, it's like I said, it needs to be added into that conversation of the perfect comic book movie, and just outside of it being a comic book movie, like I know we're going to go into the art book stuff, but there's a lot of artistic reasons why I chose what I chose, and it I try to bring it up. Like the opening scene is just the red, and that was one of the memories I've always had of this movie. From the moment I was in the theater with my mom, I remember seeing just the red and the buildings on fire and then the overhead shot. And I was like 10 years old, and I'm like, this is beautiful. Just how it was shot. And so for me, it's artistically pleasing, especially being a fan of like Mike Mignola, Frank Miller, Will Eisner, and seeing the negative space, the absolute blacks, and like the way they use it. It was basically legitly a comic book on screen.
Yeah.
And for me and all that. And so just that and the message behind it. And I know everyone's like at the time, the Hot Topic time was like, oh, true love is forever, the Crow. And I thought that was sappy as shit. But in my head, it was like, everyone's done wrong in some way. It's just how you go about it and how it shapes you.
How you correct your life.
Yeah, and you saw it hurt him to do what he had to do because it seemed like he was just a joyful guy
in such a rotten city.
Yeah. And we had a
cesspool-esque
and we got to meet RZA a while ago, and one of the things that stuck with me from meeting him was, and we all know kind of like the Wu-Tang Clan story and everything was like, yeah.
I'm still mad at that. I have no reason to be. It's just that's what I saw the photo.
You're not cool.
Well, he said one thing. He was like, you can be a victim of your environment, and it was like this guy was not a victim of his environment. He was trying to shine, and you saw that. Even though we were talking oh yeah, he let all that go, he didn't when he went up to Darla and did that. Yeah. So there was a piece of him still saying don't be a victim to your environment. You have a chance to go be with your daughter. You're not going to be mom of the year, but you can change this So
there's still a choice you can make.
You can pack your shit and move someplace else.
Yeah. So to me, like I said, 5 coffins. It's a great movie. I'll still watch it. As much for either to study art wise or just to get away and stuff like that.
No, I completely agree. And obviously 5 coffins for me. I would be stupid to be 4.75 coffins. But no, this not only did this movie inspire me and push me into the things that I'm into now, and I can say the same thing about Army of Darkness and Evil Dead and all of that, but this just adds that layer of like you said, it justified everything for me. Yeah. Growing up I learned love from Gomez Adams. That is my complete. That's awesome.
I've seen the memes.
That is
find someone that looks at you like Gomez looks at Morticia.
So my wife went upstairs. I look at Gomez Adams and be that's the man that I want to be when it comes to love. And what The Crow teaches you about it is that you don't know when that last moment's going to be. So
yeah, to your point, because he's having a conversation with Ernie Hudson's character, and he says, "I used to think," because he's talking about like Ernie's like, "Well, yeah, we're getting a divorce." He's like, "I used to think that these little things were little things. Like to Shelley, she used to make a big deal out of the small things, and then I found out, things that I thought were trivial, and I've learned nothing's trivial."
Right.
And it's funny because I always say, I'm like, nothing is small.
Nope.
Because people who wake up tomorrow and go, yeah, I don't know why, or it just seemed like it went bad overnight. No, it's all the little things that you thought were too little and it didn't really. I don't mean making a mountain out of a molehill and things like that.
Right.
But it's just those little moments, the little courtesies, the little ways of showing love, all these tiny little things that seem like they don't matter, they do. And it's always interesting to see, like we focus on various aspects of the movie, and depending on where your head is at each time you watch it. Like when I was watching it again, I can remember feeling this way before, but it felt even more different this time besides all the fun parallels, and I had more parallels. I did, trust me. Even down to like the Last Supper, like that whole table scene is like a corrupt Last Supper, but instead of breaking bread and wine and having communion, they got drugs and alcohol, and they're like, woohoo, Devil's Night. And he totally disrupts the whole thing. But is how they loved each other. Like, just how they really, you can see in all these little flashbacks, how they cherished one another, the way they looked at each other, how you can tell that they relished each moment that they had. And because you chose not to let anything between you be insignificant, that's why that was such a true love, because it was something you chose every day in each moment. Yep. So yes to your point on that.
Completely agree. So we just talked about The Crow for about an hour.
Yeah.
And it's not for nothing. This is where I get to be quiet.
Oh, shush.
No, I am super proud of you guys for this book. I know you aren't the only two in it. There's a whole bunch of other people.
No, we're the only two. That's it. That's all you need to know.
Yes. But no,
just kidding.
Because you guys can talk about, the book now that it's coming out. How did all that come about?
I was talking to a friend of mine because I was in the middle of a shift with my art career and figuring out, even before the shift, there was kind of like a pre-shift where I felt like you get restless. That's how you always know, like, growing and wanting to reflect, where do I want to go from here, is when you just kind of start getting a little bit restless. I call it the tight shirt grabby feeling. You ever feel like that tightness that you feel like you just kind of...
I have medicine for that now, but yes.
Yeah, sure. So it's just like, we got drugs, legal ones. But it was this weird feeling that I was having where I was just feeling really restless. And it usually happens right after I start to get comfortable and go, this is fine, right? And then suddenly the restlessness kicks in. And that's what it was starting to be for me. So I was starting to reevaluate, well, where do I want to go from here? What do I see myself in a year? What do I want? What do I care about? And as I was making those evaluations, I was talking to somebody and I was like, hey man, I was asking him his input, like, what do you think? With the skills you see me having and what you know of me, he's an art director for a gaming company. And I was asking our buddy Tom, like, hey man, I'd just like to hear your feedback. What do you think? And I was poking at my husband about it and, just asking some of the art friends who have been around me for a while how they see things, what their perspective was. And in that conversation, he was like, you should probably he was giving me some suggestions about my portfolio, maybe what I could do with it. And one of the things that came up was like, hey, there's this company, Printed in Blood. Maybe you should see about submitting a piece they have an art book coming up, The Crow, and see if you can submit for that, and if they accept your piece and put it in the book. And then I was like, oh, Julio would love to do this. This is a movie that we really love, and his mom, it's, a big part of our family, and it's cool that that's something that we get to share. And so I told Julio about it. I was like, hey, babe, if you want to submit for this too, if you're interested. And he was like, heck yeah. And so we submitted for it. And of course, no matter what we do in life, we never assume that things are going to be great or people think we're awesome or we're going to automatically get an opportunity. Even when we talk to people, it's never with the intention of, ooh, what can I get out of this? It's just we want to be cool people. We always want to keep our feet on the ground. We realize nothing is permanent. Nothing is guaranteed. So we just choose gratitude with each thing that happens. And so we're like, well, we'll submit, see if we're going to get in. And thankfully we did. And the crazy part is I wasn't familiar with Printed in Blood, but I didn't realize I actually was familiar with Printed in Blood because their books were in stores that we've been into, these art books, but I had no idea it was them who had been doing it. And sure enough, when we go into a store in Chicago later on, we're like, oh my God, these guys, I know who they are. So to get a chance to be in this book together and this is our first publishing together, right? Outside of the self-published?
It's technically it's the second because of the timing that it's being released, but this book was like 2 years.
The first project that we would have been published.
Yeah.
Technically. I still count it as the first.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is because this book's been like 2 years in the making.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, I don't want
to
say anything else.
No, yeah.
So
please.
Yeah, so Lisa tells me like, hey, Tom said about Printed in Blood, check it out, and they're doing The Crow. So this legitly is a full circle moment for me, and I don't know if I told you or what. So yeah, the movie means a lot to my mom. It's one of my earliest memories, stuff like that. But it's a lot more. And I know we're in Mars Attacks, and we've done a few others.
That up because that Mars Attacks print, I love that. When we left BelaCon, we sat in my van. Me, Juan, and Justin sat in the van for a little bit because it was raining, and Justin didn't want to get any of his stuff wet. And he put everything else he got on top of that print. He was like, I'm not fucking ruining this, man. This is apparently they have like, I guess, a wall in their apartment just full of Mars Attacks stuff.
Oh gosh, it's deep.
Yeah, and I was just like, I don't have any money. I should go back in though because I love that Mars Attack and the Jaws one you did.
Thank you.
Like
yeah.
Fucking love that. Like,
yeah, I love that moment that when he said he was going to do that. Not trying to stray off into other books, but I do love. He's like, this is what I'm going to do because he'll talk about stuff like, hey, I think I know what I'm going to do.
And then I don't do it.
and then he does something else, and he did end up doing something else, but he decides on this moment. I was like, oh, I love that moment because capturing that brings you every time I look at the print. That the piece that he did for that book, it always brings me right back to that moment immediately, to the emotion that was on his face, the wide range of thoughts that were probably going through Quint's mind in that moment when he's like, these mofos. Like, he just seemed pissed and a whole bunch of other things all at once. You're like, no, sorry, Quint. It's okay, I'm good.
Here's Quint, there's Bruce.
Yeah, right.
So going back to the Crow book.
Yeah.
So I don't know how old I am. I know I'm in high school, and my uncle and I find out about comic book conventions. Okay, and this is when it was Wizard Con or Wizard World in Rosemont. So that was the first convention we ever go to. We do like the little FOP shows and stuff like that. And I met like one or two artists at like Amazing Fantasy or at Joe Becerra had a comic shop on Kennedy Avenue in Hammond. So I met some guys, but I never met anyone at a con. So this is our first big con, this and that, and we're overwhelmed. We don't know, and so we don't know the landscape. We don't understand anything.
Yeah,
like we just walk in and it's like, you're like,
especially for the first time.
Yeah. And so we go in we don't know what guests are there. We don't know anything. We're just blindly going in for our first time together, and we're attached at each other's hip because we don't want to lose each other. Nothing.
Now he's a pro. He's got a system.
Yeah. So we're walking, and we end up in Artist Alley. And I didn't know it was Artist Alley at the time. I didn't even know what Artist Alley was.
Oh wow.
And I see a guy just sitting there, and I see the Crow comics, and it's James O'Barr. First guy there, and this is right when doors open, the whole nine, because we got VIP and this and that, and he's there and he's set up and everything, and my uncle goes, oh, you know who that is? I'm like, yeah, it's the guy who made The Crow. And my uncle knows what, he knew the comic book and the movie, but he was more familiar with the comic. He goes, oh, okay, cool. Why don't you go over there and talk to him? Because there's no, he's, I guess, just getting in, setting up and stuff. I'm like, I can't talk to him, whatever. I was like, but I do want to get something. So we go over and I just say hi or whatever, and I'm like looking at the books and everything. He has a sketchbook, like, and it has like all his the front of the sketchbook is his drawings, and it's like a hardcover sketchbook. And when you open on the bottom right hand corner of the page is like little Eric Draven sketches, like different profile, different shots of the face. And I'm like, oh man, that's cool. And he tells us how much. I'm like, all right. So we shell out. And I was like, I'll take the sketchbook.
Just take all of this.
Well, I didn't know that, I thought it just came with a signature. That's it. And it like, it has like the book plate, I think, sticker in the front, and he signed whatever. And then he goes, oh, the book? I'm like, yeah, I told him the story, and my mom took me to the theater to see it, this and that. And my uncle like nudges me. And this is at the time where I'm like, don't know what I want to do in life. You're still in high school. You don't know anything. And I'm in a band and all this other stuff. And, but I guess my uncle knew, like, you're going to do comics. This is it.
Yeah.
So he nudges me and he just kind of gives me the, like, ask him for advice right now. So I get
smart uncle, good uncle.
I get James on So it's a surreal moment, and I'm sitting there, and he goes, "Oh, this now." I was like, "Yeah, I love your art style. I love the way how you draw the comics in black and white, whatever." I was like, "Any advice?" I usually ask, like, "You have any advice for, an inspiring artist or whatever?" And he's the one who's like, "It'll break your heart, but keep going. Don't stop." Now while we're talking, the dude has a regular Bic pen and is doing a rough layout on the first page. And he's telling me, he's like, it's going to break your heart, but it's worth it. Like, it's therapeutic. Just don't give up. Whatever you do, just keep fighting the good fight. And by the time he's done is a full-fledged James O'Barr original Crow piece in the sketchbook. Didn't charge me extra, nothing for it. And it just says, "To Julio, best wishes, James O'Barr." And I just, like, I held on to that. And, like, it's like one of my, for still right now, I'm like, oh, and I know he's making the rounds for cons and he's doing all that, but I was like, this dude took time out to talk to, like, teenage me.
And those are some of the biggest moments.
Yeah, and I still have that book. Yeah. No one else is drawn in that book. It's just been James's. And I'm just like, I look at it and I'm like, this is pretty cool. And then I do a show in Monroe, Michigan. And he's a guest of honor. And I'm in Artist Alley. And we go up to him and I kind of just like, this is fucking crazy. Like, so many years ago, he's the first comic book artist at my first convention I ever met. And now here I am so many years into doing this, and he's the guest, and I'm not too far from him. This is pretty fucking cool. I bottomed out at the con, but still having like a surreal moment. Yeah. And talked to him again when I was there, and I was like, "Hey, I met you so many years ago, this and that." And he goes, "What advice did I give you?" And I was like, "Well, clearly I'm still here." He goes, "Cool." And he like signs some Crow art prints for us or whatever. So now, so many years after that, being able to be like official, like an officially licensed Crow artist, is like a big So it's like like I'm happy for every printed in blood book, and every one that I do means something. So like the John Carpenter's A Thing, Mars Attacks, Jaws, they all mean something to me. But this is the one that I was just like,
you made it.
It's a pivotal moment.
Yeah, not that I made it, but I was just like, it's full circle. Yeah. Like, it's just like, everyone goes, oh, Julio's a big Frank Miller guy, Todd McFarlane. And I am. Don't get me wrong. Those dudes are like, legitimately, if there was no Frank Miller, there would be no me type deal. But like, it just like you have those connections with like certain guys and just like, or certain moments or anything. So it's like, this dude told me not to give up. I was a teenager. Here I am, 40-something years old. I haven't gave up. And fucking, there's been times where I wanted to, and I just want to throw in the towel. But I haven't. And now I'm drawing for this thing that my mom took me to go see when I was in the 3rd grade.
It's surreal.
And first convention, first artist, this guy. That's probably the first original artwork I've ever got from an artist. Now I'm drawing his thing, or I'm drawing a movie based on his thing.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it means a lot more to me. Than just another project. And I know a lot of people, oh, this sappy ass, whatever.
No.
But no, it's
That's
yeah. So like this one,
No, that strikes a chord. Especially you said it'll break your heart, but don't give up.
yeah.
Wow.
You know, and I've had the pleasure of asking some of the biggest names for advice. Like I got to have like 10 minutes with Stan Lee about, hey, what should I do? And he gave me his advice. I basically gushed over Frank Miller and told him, like, because every artist talks about, like, hey, learn how to draw the Marvel way is the book. You know, that every artist should have that book. That's the Bible. And I'm like, nah, fuck that book. The book you need to have is Eisner Miller, because it's two guys. It's a mentor and mentee having a conversation, an argument, transcripted into a book, and they're talking about, and like I still haven't read the full book because I'm going back, I'm studying, I'm rereading it, or I have to reference something. And I met Frank Miller 2 years ago. And I met him a few times, but this time I just told him, like, I was nervous, and I told him, I was like, hey, I know everyone's all about Dark Knight Returns, this and this and that, and you see him, he's just like kind of going through the motions. I was like, the book you did with Will Eisner, that's my Bible. That's the thing. I was like, I know everyone talks about how to draw the Marvel way. I'm like, but people underestimate this book. This is the fucking book. This is the one everyone needs to have. And he just smiled. And I
finally somebody
Yeah,
gets
it's so
it.
anime because he did seem kind of like, he's like, I'm tired. It's like, okay, I'm here. It's a day. You like another long day, because it is. But he like animated.
Yeah, and he was like, it's just two idiots talking about comics. I was like, but I learned so much from that, so thank you. And he was just like, he was like, no, thank you. And I was just like, oh shit, like,
Yeah.
But yeah, like, you know, I've been blessed to do that stuff, but to do this book and do that full circle thing, dude, it's fucking insane. And I'm happy, and like legitimately, like Lisa said, like I don't take any of this for granted. I can lose the ability to draw tomorrow or in like 10 minutes. So I'm like, this is the one. Like if end all be all, I'm like, I'm happy. This is the one. And
you got to your moment,
yeah. So
that is fucking insane.
So yeah, that's how that book happened.
Yeah, so that's what it came about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, and I don't know if you want to talk about the piece that you decided to do or the moment, you know.
Oh.
I was gonna ask what drew you guys to, no pun intended, what drew you guys to doing the things that you did?
Yeah. I wanted to, because I was looking at a lot of things. I was like, okay, I know people are going to do certain moments. And that might be a moment that people do a lot of, and I was trying to figure out which one that I wanted to do.
And also to not fight the avenue of like, oh, I did this, so did 10 other people.
Yeah. And it's, not trying to be like contrary for contrary's sake, just, but being able to really connect to something. I'm like, these moments are awesome. And as cool as that would be, a lot of people are going to go for those because they're going to look for the key moments. And that's fine. But I was like, well, I like to look for other moments. What are, moments that are kind of hidden in between the moments kind of thing. And, or ones that don't typically get highlighted. And there's a couple of others I was trying to do and just like map it out, and it just wasn't coming together. And so Julio was like, oh, you're not going to do, like he said, yeah, I'm going to do this. And then I'm not doing it. It's like, it's not working. And I was like, there's a perspective that I wanted, and it's not landing. And I was also in a weird funk at the time too, art-wise, where for some reason just nothing I was drawing or painting, nothing was coming together. Or just feeling like, okay, I'm going to paint today and sit in front of it and nothing come out. I'm like,
to forcing
awesome.
yourself to do it, yeah.
Trying to like, one of these days I'm going to paint something and something's going to come out and I'm going to get out of the funk, and it just wasn't happening. And so I and even digital painting was just something that I was still figuring out what works for me, what's going to feel natural, because I was used to, again, painting traditionally. But I ended up digitally painting the moment where he's done it. He's mortal now. You know, after what happened with the crow, I was like, dude, I thought you can't die. I was like, well, yeah, I guess that's changed now.
I didn't read the terms and conditions.
Yeah, it was just like, apparently didn't read the fine print. So he goes back to Shelley's grave, their graves. And you can tell he's like, I'm just ready. Can I just come home now? Like, I'm ready to reconnect with her again. And you just see Shelley walking through the grave, all glowy and angelic like. And you see this very vulnerable moment. And that's what I wanted to capture, was when he turns around, that fear that you saw, that vulnerability, that sense of lostness that he had in the very beginning when he was coming out of the grave. It was like he came back to that moment again. He's cold, he's shivering, he's laying on the grave, and she reaches out. And you just see this, it's like a lost puppy. You know, here's this badass dude who's taken out all these guys and just seemed like he had nothing to lose, and he returns to this very vulnerable moment with her. And she's like, all right, it's time to come home. It's time to go to rest.
Yeah, let's go home.
And you see this moment. He's like, okay.
It's like elation. Almost.
Yeah, it's a combination of a range of emotions that are happening on his face in that moment. And I was hoping to do my best to capture that in some way.
Well, you did.
I can be very hypercritical, so I was hoping that it was,
No, because when Julio sent it to me, I was like, oh, okay. And I'd seen yours. I was like, this could probably just be the cover if they ever do, but they already did the 4K release. If they ever do, an 8K release or whatever. So we'll eventually get to that shit. But, that would be the cover. And then I was like, okay, I knew Julio did that one. I saw yours. I immediately knew what scene it was. And just kind of sat there with a second for it. That's fucking Brandon, man. Fuck yeah. I was and somebody at my job was like, what are you talking about? I was like, no, nobody else can see it.
Don't mind me. Yeah. Yeah, so hopefully for those who purchased the book, who end up backing the Kickstarter and getting it, I hope you enjoy the piece and it brings you to that moment with fondness.
And, you talked about what, John Bars did for you. Mm-hmm. Now you're giving people that same chance, aren't you?
No. I hate everyone. No. No, Merch Heroes? Yep. Is that where you're going? Well, technically
I shouldn't say not you, but...
Yeah, I'm helping. I'm a mediator. Yeah, man, so, basically... Ryan Barkin, who is the mastermind behind 1 Hour Tees and Pro Wrestling Tees, and basically Pro Wrestling Tees help. Shoot me, I don't give a shit. Pro Wrestling Tees help make AEW what it is, or was at the beginning, and I will stand by that fact. I've seen these guys not sleep, and I was there in the beginning with those guys for AEW, and I saw the amazing team that Ryan had put assembled to help elevate this, and how hard those guys work and make Pro Wrestling Tees what it is. Ryan, I don't know what happened. He was like, we're going to do this for the comic book community, and not just for illustrators, but podcast influencer in the comic realm, publishers, illustrators, fucking retailers, whether you're brick and mortar or online, and convention showrunners. And it's basically to expand your merch to your people who can't always just come to your shop, or who are a fan of your shop but live in another city and want to support you, or love your con but couldn't afford to get your con exclusive shirt you're giving them other revenue streams. And the beautiful part of it is I know there's Redbubble and TeePublic. Merch Heroes favors the creator. And I can speak from experience because I have a TeePublic store. I get $2 for every shirt that sells. $2. Merch Heroes, $10.
After that flat rate, like
you know,
does. Yeah.
So it favors the creator, it favors everything else, and like it takes a big burden off of having to have stock, you dealing with the customers, you printing it, you shipping it, you know, whatever. Merch Heroes is taking care of all that for you. All you got to do is promote, and upload your stuff. Like I believe in it. You know, he's offering metal prints in the U.S., which is really unheard of.
Yeah.
Like everyone, you know, I'm not knocking China or anything or whoever you have for your printer, but knowing that it's in the U.S., it's in Chicago. If you're a Chicago retailer, whatever, it's in your backyard. Indiana, it's in your backyard. Like, it's in the States. It's going to get done correctly. Like, this dude's putting so much care into the metal prints, like...
The metal print of the Cryptic Closet. When I saw that Bale account, I was like, I need to own this. Like,
dude, like, and
yeah, I've seen them. The metal prints are beautiful from the exclusive work that you've done.
And it took trial and error, and this dude sat there, like I seen him personally handle like every metal print, checking it out, making sure colors are correct. You know, like the dude is so attended to detail or detail oriented that like he's not going to put out a crappy product just to put out a product.
Right. Yeah.
So, you know, seeing him put out that level of care as much as he did for pro wrestling tees into Merch Heroes, and like wanting to give that community a chance and help them thrive and succeed. I mean, the dude can sit back and like not do anything. Like he can just do pro wrestling tees, shop AEW 1 hour tees, but he keeps evolving and he cares. That's the thing, you know, and the team cares. Like, this has been great, man. Like working, like I got to be more hands on. Obviously I wasn't there at the beginning of pro wrestling tees, but it feels like that. It feels like this is the beginning of something amazing, and it will be. And right, you know, like everything, it has its trial and error, and, you know, it's going to have its heartbreak, and you're going to sit there like, why the fuck did we spend time on this? Why did we spend money on this? But in the end run, it's like we're helping the community, and essentially that's what it's all about. Like, you know, if this guy is a fan of your work, this illustrator, and they can't find you at a convention, or they always miss you or something, here's the opportunity for that fan or that person who enjoys your work to get it, and you get like a nice monetary check, you know, you get money back from it and stuff, but
help support what you
do. So
and that's the big thing that I've learned about this community and the few cons that I've been to recently is that this community is so tight knit, and like supportive of each other. Where other communities, I'm not gonna say anything, but fucking suck. Like it's like you have to get a key, you know, you have to have a membership to it, and it's like if you don't know the right person, you can't fucking get in. It's like fuck that. Why? Like there's enough for everybody at this point. So
that's the thing, man. Like I'm not saying, you know, oh, it's the cool thing now because of comics. Like I've been into this shit since I was born. Like I was given like, hey, when he's born, this is what's gonna happen. The kid's gonna like comics, and I mean, I do. Like, it's more... I would say it's more evident now that my, like, comics is my thing. Outside of just, like, I'm very much more a fan of them now than I ever was. And it's because of the community. Like, I get to see these dudes like Bela, like yourself, Nerd.
Don't put me in that. No. My book's not even close to being finished. So
like Nerd Alert and Pete's Vibes and was it Sadie Page and what page is it and Toy Vomit, and seeing all these people just gush and freely gush about comics and the medium and the creators. And I was just like, oh, I've always felt this way. Now I can be comfortable in my own skin. I'm seeing these really cool people who I think are really cool doing this stuff, and they're just letting it fly. Like, hey, I love this artist because X, Y, and Z, and like not shitting on other artists or like talking down about anyone. And it was like, this is cool, man, seeing that. So to help bring this new venture into that community, to show nothing but love for everyone, because it like legit, it's no gatekeeping on it. Like,
and I love that too.
Like everyone's equal. Yeah, like we're gonna have some artists that are. So if you go to Illustrator, there's Artist Alley and there's the featured artists, and it's just like any other convention. You have the big name guys who worked for a Marvel or a DC. Yeah, they're going to get highlighted. That's just what it is.
Yeah, that's just the nature of the beast. You've been doing it for so long, but
yeah, but everyone's equal playing level on that site. Like no one gets favored more than someone else because of whatever. Everyone's equal. And
I'm just happy I get a Hugo shirt.
Well, yeah, man. Like some of the stuff that's going to be on there is pretty killer. Like I think there's over like 50 products now, and it like everything looks badass to me. Like we were talking already, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy that shirt and I'm gonna get that. And you can't.
Bela's comic hoodie I want. I was, before we started, I was talking to you how like I was gonna ask you a few days ago, like, hey, where can I get a Gorilla Publishing T-shirt? I know where I can get that now. And then what was the other thing I'd seen? I think it was under the Gorilla page, the Blast Radius shirt.
Oh yeah.
Like I just can't wait to be like, yes, for someone to be like, what's that? Go find the fucking book. Like,
but yeah, man, like it's cool. Like it's open. There's no price to sign up, which is beautiful. 'Cause I know a lot of people worry about, oh, how much is it going to cost me? It don't cost you shit. Don't cost you anything to sign up. It's
just going to cost you the sweat and the determination to
just
put
stuff up. It. Yeah, and and then everything else is up to you after that. Like how well you do on your site is how well you promote it and stuff like that. We're basically doing all the heavy lifting for you.
Right.
The least you can do is promote that you have a shop.
Yeah.
And if anybody needs help, Koffin Click, with doing that, let us know. I will gladly spotlight it and push it as much as I can.
Yeah. So you can go to merchheroes.com, sign up, put your stuff on there, and
I absolutely love that when you go to merchheroes.com, it's just, here, sign up. Just do something. Like, it's right in your face. I don't know if that was a design choice, but I was just like, because I signed on, I was like, oh, I can't wait to see. I don't have anything done yet. I don't want to.
No, well, as of today, which is what, the 25th, the site is live now. So it got live earlier this afternoon, but it was just a sign-up sheet.
Okay.
It was because we're trying to get people to sign up and everything, and we wanted to make sure we had like enough people. Yeah, you had to beta test everything, and then we wanted to make sure we had enough like retailers, illustrators, publishers, showrunners. That we had a few of those guys, and then we had enough product for someone to even want to go on the site to check it out. And then now that it's live, now it's like, hey, go check us out. This is what we can offer you. Go sign up and this and that. And like, even if, I know a lot of guys who have their own, like, hey, I got this printer. This is who I deal with, this and this and that. That's cool, man. We're not trying to break up any business relationships.
Right, just giving you another avenue.
Yeah, that's it. And if you're like, hey, I want to use you because your bulk orders are cheaper and it's a lot better, use us for that. That's fine, man. Like, we're here to help build the community and make it stronger and get the help you expand your reach is basically the end all be all for it. And like, hopefully it does become like pro wrestling tees and it spawns something bigger and it keeps growing. Not saying, we would love for that to happen. Like that is part of the goal is to do this, but
we'll just get Colt Cabana to do something about it.
Colt,
come on, boom boom.
I would lose my shit if you just put up a store called Boom Boom and just sold like one T-shirt, like highest merch seller.
Yeah, it was like, how'd you outsell fucking everyone? Right. It's like, oh yeah, you're Colt. That's
just a nice guy. Holy shit.
But yeah, so that's the other venture that I get to do while working at Pro Wrestling Tees and under the Creative Ventures. That's the thing, like Ryan owns Creative Ventures, and that's everything under the sun. That's 1 Hour Tees, Next Day Tees, Pro Wrestling Tees, Merch Heroes. At the time it was like Below the Collar, and yeah, this dude's insane. Like, I don't know how he sleeps, and I'm grateful he
Probably
doesn't.
in a bed of money.
No. But yeah, I mean, he's constantly thinking of ideas, man, and it's always like everyone thinks, oh, it's just he's an entrepreneur. He's always constantly thinking of new things, and like I said, like he genuinely cares. Like, you know, having a relationship with him and working alongside him and just seeing where his heart is and stuff like that. Okay, he's a comic book guy too, which is funny. Like, he enjoys comics and stuff, so it's not like he's just doing it. Like, he actually
Just
digs the medium,
yeah.
you know?
And to be in it, to get to do something, and also being a fan of that industry, and
Yeah.
being able to, like you said, the community to push it, has got to be the coolest feeling in the world.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see how this goes, and, you know.
So there you have it, kids. Merchheroes.com.
Yeah, right?
And then the last question I have for you guys, because I know, I believe you said you're at your halfway point. What conventions do you guys have coming up?
Wow, that was awesome.
No,
Well, you know, it used to be that we would go, and we would have multiple, like at least 2 conventions probably each month, and it was a little insane. So he kind of took a step back for a little bit, and he's like, okay, I'm getting cranky because I need some kind of summer. I need a break period because it can take a lot. So the summer for now is a little bit chill until September.
Yeah, September. I'm doing
September, November.
DePage Comic Con in Wheaton, Illinois, and that's with the folks over at MightyCon.
Yeah.
And then in November, I am a VIP guest at Grand Rapids for Comic Con in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Yeah.
I was fortunate to be a guest last year, and I had a blast there. That's how I met the amazing Gavin Smith, and like the people there were very open. The staff was great. The attendance. I got to do a panel with Stuart Sager about comics and horror, and that was like super fun just to be on the other side and be with Stuart Sager and his crazy art style, which is phenomenal. He's probably going to beat me up because I said crazy. But yeah, just being with
Aren't
he
we all,
listens
though?
to
Just
this,
a
will be
little
surprised.
bit.
Alright.
But yeah, just like hanging out with him, doing a panel, that was great. And so like I have nothing but love for Grand Rapids, and Mark, the showrunner, is super chill. He was got to talk to him and stuff like that, and he's very passionate about keeping it old school, and it has that old school feel, man. So I like doing that show.
Yeah.
And then I'm done for the year because I have got projects to work on, man. Like,
Gotta fit art in there. That's the other part of the reason that he tries to take some time in between.
right.
'Cause
yeah, projects are building up right now, and like it's another Printed in Blood project. Hopefully, that I got to start working on, and then Adam and I are working on Hugo issue 2.
Yeah.
Adam's like so many pages into writing it, and I keep rereading this thing, and Adam and I hung out recently, and we're just like, bro, this is how I see the first page. Is that how you like we always talk business or creatively talk before we like bro out for a while. But yeah, I'm super excited to draw it, man. Adam is firing on all cylinders for this Blast Radius universe. Like, I've never seen the dude so driven, and like this dude, like Ryan, just constantly idea.
But it's nice to see him get caught up in the momentum of something.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, especially
sometimes, you can have a lot of ideas. What do they say? Like, sometimes what trips you up is like, how do you kill a dreamer or give him too many dreams kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he's just always a guy full of ideas, which I envy. But for him to like hit a stride and go, I'm dialing in on this. I'm building a world that includes that Blast Radius is a part of that, right?
Well, it's the Blast Radius universe.
Yeah.
That's the launch.
So
the launch title.
So just like for him to dial in on something and have momentum is exciting to see him doing that.
You know, it's like that Flowbots thing. Is like I got to make a comic with my best friend. You know,
yeah.
Like we've worked together, and I think I told you this before. Like we worked together just on like one or two stories, like a Death Bag story or Tales, but like doing a full-fledged book in a universe that he's setting, dude. It like. I'm so excited to draw this.
Be a series.
Just like I'm so excited to draw this and work with him on it, and his motivation is inspiring me to be better because I want like the pressure's on and it's not a bad pressure. It's just I want to make sure his story is told correctly, artist wise. Like I can't slack off, and I shouldn't be slacking off. But this is like. It's more pressure because this is like, I look up to the guy. I'm a fan of his work, whether it's written or his art, and I'm getting to work with someone I'm a fan of. So I want to make sure I'm bringing my A game with his end game.
You're trusting me with this. I want to make sure that I'm.
And so like doing that, and then start formatting issues. It'd be 6, right? Issue 6 of Death Bag. I think it's issue 6. I don't even know anymore.
I know. I know. I bugged you on the first episode that you were at. I was like, "Hey, what's gonna happen with the Death Bag?"
So like, Lisa,
I bug him about it too sometimes.
Yeah, like, and then it was funny because someone at work asked me today. It was like, because the vignette, the little bumps of Death Bag, and he was like,
it was a lot of fun shooting those.
He was like, "Who's Death Bag?" And I was like, "He's the Grim Reaper." And he's like, "No, like, I mean, who dresses up?" I'm like, "Oh, like a buddy of mine did it the first time, and then like everyone,
someone different."
Yeah, and I was like, you can tell who does it because of the way they animate Death Bag. And I was like, yeah. But yeah, that like I'm gonna bring him back. Like I think it's time, and like some of the people that I want to work with, like. I talked briefly to some guys, and they were like, "Hell yeah, man! You do Death Bag. I'm back in. Let me know what's up." So it's going to be a lot of the guys who were with me for Death. I mean, obviously Adam will do the cover.
Yeah.
You know that's Adam's thing, but I might bring Miller back and another guy who's fucking been killing it in horror comics right now, who I think needs to get more love as a writer. I'm not going to say a name because but if you know, the dude's up for a Ringo, so you should definitely check him out. But yeah, we talked, and he was just like, "Hell yeah, bro, I'm in," and you know, and I wanna see Bill Hallier, and I'm do a Death Bag story that I write. Yeah. So so like, it's. Stuff I got to put in there, and
he really enjoys it. And Julio's like, I don't understand, and he got lost. There's this piece you have to see it. It's a
pinup in the trade.
It's a pinup in the trade, and it's wild how lost he got in this. Every detail, everything has a story. He even did individual pieces for all the album covers and posters,
and posters.
It's really
it's
wild.
like Death Bag sitting on a couch, and like the glow of the TV's hitting him. There's a pizza slice and a like pop knocked over, but it's elongated, and it's like he's got like vault ceilings in the living room or something. Yeah, and it's all these creator owned band posters. So he made like tour posters and made up bands and everything, and
it's wild. Yeah, and you'll look at it for a minute.
Yeah, he really got into it, and the way he drew Death Bag was just crazy. Only like Bill can draw it. Bill's the guy that always makes me want to put my pencil down.
He's like, and we're done.
Yeah.
Why do I do
and I joke with, I jokingly tell him that, you know, during when we work on Tales and everything. He was like, "How does it look?" I was like, "It looks like I just quit the business."
It's like Death Bag's yours now. Is what he told him. I was like, he's like, "No, don't say that. But I like the way you do it."
I like the fact that everyone gets gun hole for him, they're excited to write a story or draw a Death Bag story. That brings a lot of joy because it's just stupid. You know,
but it's a lot of fun. You
thing.
can really go so many ways with it. It could be whatever you want it to be. You know, he's like, oh, I was like, what made you do it? He's like, well, it's Adult Swim cartoons. I always imagined it being like an Adult Swim cartoon. And so this time, when he did the trade, and it's the only way that you get the next story or the next issue is in the trade. He's like, I want to do this thing. I was like, all right, let's do it. So bust out the iPhone, and we, you know, he was showing me what he was doing. Yeah.
We started marketing 5.
And so we started marketing that and working on the videos for that, and it's hot in the freaking living room, and we're sweating our butts off doing the video. Full on
bathrobe on, and
yeah, so many layers.
I was like, this is ridiculous. Why did I decide to do this?
It's like about to pass out as we're doing the videos. But I was like, dude, he was like, man, but it's kind of crazy. It's like, it's just a silly cartoon thing. I was like, yeah, but you did it as a way to kind of cut loose and not take yourself seriously.
Yep.
So, but if you look at The Simpsons, even the artwork for The Simpsons, it started so crude. But I'm like, the way they were drawn, but they evolved and they just kind of became more polished. I was like, I would love to see you continue to bring your grift, that polish, in a little bit of polish to this character and have different writers. And it's supposed to be kind of a dark humor slice of life book. Yeah. So it's just all these little things that if you were to just like, now imagine you're a Grim Reaper. If you were in that situation and you had the powers to control death, how would you respond?
I mean, everyone's take on, like, I love all the stories and they've been great. Like, everyone's take on them is different, and, you know, and just like stuff we get irritated with.
Yeah, sure.
You know, so it's going to be fun to do that. And then, like, Nathan in Tales 4 made me step my game up. And then this Hugo shit and like, is making me step up. So it'll be fun to see, like, Deathbag in this new, you know, like how you said, like a more polished art style, but still have, like, that cartoony effect to it. Yeah. So, yeah, man. So got a lot on the docket. So if I'm not in the and I'm like, I want to spend time with my niece and nephew, bro. Right.
The dog will be outside. You know see like, sunlight.
Yeah. Right. You know, I can't work all the time. You know, but if you
do enough now, you can enjoy it later.
So, but yeah, so that'll be the next few conventions. I don't know if there's going to be like in-store stuff or like a pop-up here or there that I might randomly do. But as right now, it would be DePage Comic-Con. Oh, I'm a guest. I'm a guest at DePage Comic-Con. I should probably say that too. I'm just not there. Like, they're bringing me in as a guest, like Grand Rapids are. But yeah, man, like that, taking a little time off just to do that. And then there's going to be, I think I can say it, there's going to be some NYCC surprises coming out. So, yeah, the good folks at Pro Wrestling Tees have enlisted me once again. So
he will be there or not be there.
Yeah. I will be there in artistic spirit somehow. And it's some new guy, like some new people I haven't done things for and people I've done things for, but definitely for them are like, I really gotta make sure like there's gonna be some heavy hitters on there, and I am honored for Ryan and Frank and Jeremy to be like, hey, you're doing this, again, they can go to a different artist anytime they want, but they keep coming to me, so I
love all your wrestling shit.
Thanks, man.
That's stellar.
Like, every time you post something, I'm just like, fuck, man. Like,
and then
right, yeah.
And then hopefully something within the month with I'm reunited with my best friend on something, or my wrestling best friend, I should say. So yeah, be on the lookout for a return of me and this guy. Okay. And I'm excited about that one. Like, I think he just approved the artwork, so we're just waiting for something to happen, and it's a statement for him, and I am very excited and honored that he chose me to do that statement. Okay. And yeah, so it's fun, man. I enjoy working with this person, and I think I believe we bring the best out of each other when it comes to this stuff, and it's fun to work with this guy. So, yeah, you'll see. Hopefully in the next month or so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think. Anyway, I'm not going to try and ruin my brain. But that does it for the episode. I can't thank you two enough for coming out and doing this.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Oh, of course.
It was
Thank
fun.
you.
Oh, anytime. Like I said, this was the most intellectual breakdown of a movie we've ever had that didn't involve dick jokes. Like, it's
Well, I mean, I started making fun of Juan at the beginning. Sorry, Juan.
Yeah.
oh, he's gonna enjoy the shit out of that.
The Juan and only.
God, I love that. And like, especially,
Wait, that's where that came from?
yeah, and
Yeah.
every
Sure, why not?
at the beginning of every episode, he'll say like he'll do a different Juan pun, and there was one where he
gosh.
didn't. And me and Justin just kind of sat there and we were like,
It's like,
dance monkey, do it. And he was just
Do the thing. I didn't do it.